so put the pressure back in and then we can fit this, hopefully with one hand. Come on. Okay, so that's on, and then I might just blast this out with a hairdryer because it's still a bit wet.
What's up guys, it's Brett the Hitman Hart. I wish. It's PB Plumber. Thanks for tuning in to my latest video, The Life of a Jobbing Plumber. So this week's video, sponsored by Power Toolmate. I've got a little bit of news for you. On the Power Toolmate website, there's now a PB Plumber section. So all of the plumbing tools, everything that he sells on that site to do with plumbing and heating, all in one place, and there's some great deals on there. They've even got the new stainless steel Milwaukee pipe cutter. I think it's the first place you can buy it in the UK. So the link to that and the PB section is in the description of the video. And Velocity Pro Gear. Now, if you are, if you've seen the Velocity Pro Gear kit bags or even the Vito tool bags, and you think, yeah, they look all right, but I wish I could actually look at one because you can't really see them in shops. Velocity are going to be at Installer Show and they're going to have their full range of bags. So you can go along. It's at the NEC in Birmingham. You can pick the bags up, have a look inside, see how they feel. Their full range is there. You can buy them. There'll be special show discounts, so you'll get yourself a bargain. But also the prototype bags that they've got coming up. So the new models that you've not seen yet or are not available to buy yet, they'll be there so you can have a good look at them. And also, which they really appreciate, if you've got any modifications you think they need to make to their bags or anything you'd like to change or a bag that you'd like to see them make, you can have a chat with the people that actually make the bags. And maybe one of your ideas will make it onto a future bag. So that's at the NEC in Birmingham Installer Show. I'm going to be on the Lawton Tube stand all 3 days. I think it's the 21st to the 23rd of June this month. So in a couple of weeks' time. And if you come to see me on the Lawton stand and you haven't got my pipe bending challenge, you've got a chance to win. I hope you might have seen it. One of these caps here. So I've designed this cap. So it's got PB Plumber on the side there and Lawton Tubes on the side there, and I've designed this copper crown logo. I think it's a really nice cap. It's a proper 80s trucker cap, so it's like a foam front mesh. I love it. I think it's great. So we're not selling these. If you want to win one, I say win, all you got to do is have a go at the pipe bending challenge. If you have a half decent attempt, you'll get a cap. Now, I know everyone can't go to Installer Show. You might be on holiday or you might be employed and you can't get the time off, or you're an apprentice and you can't go. If you want to win one of these caps and you can't go to the show, if you're on Instagram, the next time you do a job using copper pipe, tag in Lawton Tubes, use the hashtag Copper King or Copper Queen, and the doesn't have to be a massive job, just something that you're particularly proud of that using copper. And we're going to choose a few people to win one. Also, I'm going to choose like 5 people at random in the comments. So if you leave a comment on today's video, thank you. But 5 of you will win a cap. So yeah. So yeah, I've got a couple of jobs for you this week, and I've got a little bit to talk to you about that I'm going to stick at the end, because again, it's about my fitness goals. I've signed up to do not 1 but 3 marathons this year, so I'm going to be talking about that. But I hope you enjoy this week's video, and yeah, whatever you're doing next week, hope you have a great week.
Bit of a change of scenery this morning for me and Marcus. So we got a industrial unit that needed some TLC. There's a lot of tank water, stored water. Let me put the flash on. Still connected, and it's feeding various things, but most of it has been capped off or just cut and is not in use, so there's a lot of dead legs. So what we're going to do is cut out anything that isn't in need anymore, get rid of all the dead legs, tidy everything up. We've got some water heaters to install. We've got a water heater, a water heater that is It's not been fitted properly, so we're going to sort that out. Just various bits and bobs. We're booked in here today, tomorrow, and possibly a little bit on Friday. There's plenty to do. For example, we've just got a 50mm pipe there with a service valve on it. It's still live and just hanging there. This used to be in here. I'll show you. That's the shower tray. There's the shower. One pipe just snapped off. That pipe, we don't know where it goes, but that's all going to come out and go through here. Check out this side. Fuck maintenance personnel. So in here we've got looks like hot and cold that come down, but the hot's been cut and just left open. The cold comes down and we've got some speed fit into an under sink heater. So the first thing you'll notice there is we've got no PRV, no expansion vessel, nothing. So just basically got cold in, hot out. So that's wrong. I'll just briefly tell you why that's wrong. We'll look at the instructions. So we're fitting a couple of new ones elsewhere in the property. And this is the instruction book, upside down. So it needs to have a PRV, 6-bar pressure relief valve, regardless of whether you fit it to this drawing or this drawing. But the difference between the two, you see we've got an expansion vessel on here and we've not got an expansion vessel on here. These require expansion, so obviously they heat the water up, the water expands. If you don't want to fit an expansion vessel, you've not got room, whatever, this thing here, you need 2.8 meters for a 10 litre heater, or 4.2 meters for a 15 litre heater of 15mm pipe for it to expand in. And what that means is where the cold goes in to here, between there and this cold tap there, which comes through in speed fit, you can imagine that comes along and just tees in somewhere there. Between there and that tap you need, what was it, 2.8, so 2.8 meters of pipe, which would be a meter back, and again probably that of pipe work, so that the water can expand in that pipe work. And if it's a bigger water heater, what's this one? This one's a 10 litre, but if it's a 15 litre you need 4.2 meters of pipe, so you'd have to go like that. So you've got enough pipe work in there for this to expand into. Obviously the other option is you fit an expansion vessel in there, which is the easier option. But regardless of that, this hasn't even got a PRV on it. So we need to sort this one out, bring it up to spec standards. Swapping these taps. We've got a dead leg there that used to go to an old urinal, that's got to come out. Tidy up that speed fit there. There's just a 28mm pipe with a gate valve that's got to go. There's a 22mm pipe just sticking down there that's got to go. So if you look under there, 15mm T, and then we've got what, a metre of pipe work, say 1.5 meters if we're generous, to that tap. So it's just not enough.
She'll love that. I've already messaged her this morning.
How did you get us this job, Marcus?
Well, I can't say, but I've gone all blush.
Right, come on, talk.
Yeah. Right, so we've worked out
Yeah.
that this is on the cold mains.
Compose yourself, man.
So that's obviously a massive dead leg.
Yeah.
But in
So we're
here,
draining that down.
Now that's going to get disconnected upstairs. In here, I was a little bit wondered why we've got a water meter here
Yeah.
and a water meter in the road.
Yeah.
But if we look down here, there's actually an old stop tap. So it must have originally come in here as the cold mains.
Straight into that
Through
water
that.
meter. So they've just.
So the cold mains comes all the way from the front of the building, through here, and then back up to feed all those tanks.
Just to pick up that water meter.
Yeah. to pick
Which
up
is
that-
that's redundant though, is it? Because there's a new one in the street.
Yeah, so that literally does nothing.
That's coming out.
So we're going to disconnect that.
Yeah.
This leg here obviously feeds off the tanks upstairs,
Yeah.
which obviously have a urinal and gosh knows what.
So what basically, guys, what we're doing is we're going to go along, and as we work out what stuff does, we'll plan what we're going to do with it as we work it out, because at the minute we don't really know what does what. That pipe there with the
Gate valve on.
no, go below, there's one piece of lagging just on a
That's
pipe.
on there.
Does that go to that shower valve?
Yeah, that goes to this sexy shower in here.
Yeah, that's that shower, so that's going to be all taken
That
out
one's
as well.
going to be disconnected.
That's what
So,
we're doing.
yeah.
Yeah, so this shower I just mentioned with the hot just snapped off there. Ooh. It's still connected. So that's tank fed. So I've got to drain all the cold out through that, and obviously if we mix it, so put it on like lukewarm, medium, the water will come out the hot. So it's mixing now inside the valve. So just flush the toilet, but you can see it's still filling, which means that that's tank fed as well, because we've got the mains off at the minute. So I'm just trying to work out what pipe does what. So this one's definitely from a tank, which makes sense because it did pick up the urinal as well. So Marcus put hose on that 28mm pipe, that's draining down the bigger of the two tanks just into that shower tray, which is other side of this wall.
Yeah.
It's coming out quite a speed now. What's that, yeah, that one, what's that?
No, that's just another redundant pipe, so we'll cut that off out of the way. Yeah, I'm gonna, once this tank's drained, I can lift this pipe up upstairs, cut that one off, and then I'll renew all this that goes down to that old water meter. Reconnect this on. So folks, I've just started cutting a load of pipe work out. This 28mm went back to the water tanks, which fed the toilets, some stop taps and outside taps that was down here. But as I took this piece off here, which has got some sort of crappy pipe on it, literally, now this, bearing in mind this is connected to tanks, that's just fell straight out of there. Look how rusty the water is as well. Don't even think that's a copper fitting.
Okay, so what I've done now is I've mounted this onto the side so it's off the deck. Before it was just sat on the deck there at the back. And then we've got these dielectric connections. If you look in the book, when you buy this, it comes with 2 dielectric junctions. Must be fitted to all models as they prevent electrolytic reaction, safeguard against potential aggressive corrosion. They just binned them, so what I've had to do is take 2 of these out of the other box. So we'll use them on this one, because I won't be fitting the other one till tomorrow, and we'll have to pick some more up from the merchants. Get them on there. Now I've got to work out, I've got to get in, obviously I've got to get my cold, oh, I've switched taps already. Get cold feed to the tap. Yeah? Yeah? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So the one with the water meter on it? Yeah, yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah.
Ready?
Yep. Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah.
So is that all being cut out from down here?
No, go, get rid of it.
Gone, okay. So that's most of that gone now. That's dead. Just cut that, that's obviously to the shower there, so that can all come out now. Nothing left on this wall really, apart from this one, which we're going to get rid of that and then keep that to go down. I think we're going to just replace the speed fit into the toilet. Right, so far I've got my cold tap connected. T-in, that's a pressure reducing valve and an isolator, so the mains is coming in from the bottom and up into that. Comes this way, just there you can see the non-return valve, and then it bends around, T's in to pick up the expansion vessel, and I've got an open-ended outlet off that T because I'm going to put the PRV somewhere here, not decided yet. But before I do that, because that's in front, I'm going to get the hot out of there and then along in those clips up to the hot tap on the left. I'm going to try and do it, so bend down 90, bend out 90, bend in 90. I'm going to be using this monument bender. This is my first bend, and then you just drop it in like that. That's where I want my second bend to be. And if I can do this with one hand, this part just drops on the top and hooks in like that. And then we can bend the second bend like that. That bit comes off. Come on. So first bend, second bend. I've got one more bend to do. So first bend, second bend, and the third bend. See, I've got the line there where I want it to be. Bend that one. And there it is. Into there. Not bad. I'm still obviously. I've not had it long. They gave it me for my birthday. PB40 on it. It literally arrived today, and it's the first time I've used it. So it's not my favourite yet, but the more I use it, I might grow to love it.
Very good.
So in here now, we've just got the cold coming down. The old hot that was just open-ended's gone, and then same this side. Everything's gone apart from the cold coming down. Leave a valve on there so we can isolate the toilet, and just took all that speed fit out. So we've got a hose nozzle bib tap there. We're going to test the dynamic and static pressure using this test kit, which I've shown you before. Absolutely extortionate price for a test kit, but it's a good one. So this basically, it's got a washer in. We're going to go straight onto our bib tap. That, and then our pressure gauge. Just going to tighten in there. Okay, ready to go. Shut that off. So if we open this up, we should get a static pressure of 2 bar. And then I'm going to do the flow rate, so you can see this gauge here. When I open this, about 20 litres per minute. And now our static pressure of just over 2 bar. I'm going to open a tap somewhere else in the building. You can't do it from this one. But when we open another tap, it'll give us our dynamic pressure. Okay, Marcus is just going to go and open a tap now. So our dynamic pressure is about 1.5 bar. Okay, so that's done now. You see the PRV where I've come out of this T, I've had to step up, and that's so I can achieve the correct height. You've got to have 300mm from the bottom of your ton dish to the bend. It is what it is. That's the building reg. I don't necessarily think it is a life or death situation, but that's what we've done. So 6 bar pressure relief valve, water's all on now. Oh. Lovely.
So there's a quick look at trying to drain it down the traditional route through the drain off, but that's not working obviously. So what I've done is I've cut the cold feed, shoved a hose all the way down. I think it's probably to about here, that's where it seemed to stop. And then come up and we're siphoning it out into a drain.
One of the other jobs we've got to do here is taking out this hot water cylinder and the storage system above, because this was feeding, what, 1 kitchen sink tap and 1 basin tap?
Yeah.
They've got an electric shower, so they don't need all that stored water. So this is going to all come out, and then our plan is to fit another instantaneous water heater in here to pick up the kitchen sink the other side of the wall, and then get to a wash and basin in the bathroom next to me. So we're just ripping this out for now, and then we'll make a plan. So that's the tank out. Not the worst one we've seen, is it? But
no, not great for washing pots in though.
So washing your mug in that. So that's the tank gone, all the pipe work gone, stripped down. Oh, where's the vent pipes? Pull that out. Don't sing because I'll get the what's it called? I'll get a mark on my video for copyright claim. What song were you singing?
Don't know now.
Right, so what we've got is a hot outlet, the cold inlet there. So that's we're going to pick up into our new heater there somewhere. Apparently they don't want the electric shower anymore, so this is going to go as well. So just get rid of more pipe work really, more tanks and stuff. Alright, talk us through this bit of kit.
Right, so basically this is a collapsible bucket. It all folds up into this little tiny bag. It's 12 volt. It just plugs in. It's got a little submersible pump there. So literally, once you've cut the pipe work, you can let it run into there, and then just pump it straight into the bucket.
Right, there we go.
Let's give it a go. That's set. Down, I'm going to get this. Yeah.
Yep. Just for this, just come a bit further, see.
Yeah. Okay. Get it back on there.
Well, there's not going to be enough to let the pump go, is there?
There will be when we do the cold though.
That's a shame. Right, let me move this one out of the way.
The taps open.
Yeah.
I think there'd be more than that in all that pipe work, wouldn't you?
Cool, that, isn't it? A collapsible bucket, little mini sump pump, and then you can run that either out the door or in this case we're just running it into a bucket. Oh, here comes a bit. Come on. Let's get the cold.
Go about here for that tap, that does exactly just get extended.
Yay! Okay. That's cool. So what's it called?
De Bleu.
De Bleu.
Yeah.
Schnell einfach sober. That's the kit. How much was it?
They're about 170 quid.
170 quid.
Yeah.
But if you're doing a lot of work where you could see a use for it, it'd probably pay for itself. So this little progress update. So I've got the hot connected and the PRV discharge out. Mark's is on the other side of the wall connecting that, taking it to safe termination. We've got an isolation valve underneath it, so the water's back on. So what I'm doing now is the same as the other one, following these instructions, just trying to get all the kit in. So the PRV, expansion vessel, check valve, and the pressure reducing valve, and trying to get it to look something similar to that. I'm just making up the PRV now. So that's that one done. Here comes the singing plumber again. Pressure reducing valve, check valve, expansion vessel, vertical this time. I had a lot of people comment on the when I put this on Instagram. The other one I did horizontal because it was in the cupboard, so anyway I could get it in. I don't think there's any difference to be honest. The way it's piped and stuff about stagnant water and Legionella, but apparently it's in the water regs, they have to go vertical now. So I'll look up on that, but when I fit those mini shock arresters on boilers, I do them horizontal as well. So I will look at that in the water regs if I can find an updated version. But yeah, that's all on live now. We've got the correct 300ml for the ton dish, and that just feeds this little wash hand basin in the toilet, and this hot tap for them to wash up. So That's why they didn't need that massive cylinder.
So I've got an issue with a bit of water hammer. I've got a copper pipe going into a T there, and you can almost see it like moving out the joint. Just trying to work out where it's coming from.
You go for something, is there?
Right, you see that luggy moving? Bang, bang, bang. Could be anything. It could be a old check valve.
It's just a bend.
Tees off there, then goes down into the wall there, and then carries on there.
Nothing there, is there?
Just stopped. All Marcus did, there's a tap here, you can see it. We just turned that off and it's completely stopped it, and then we've opened it back up and it's not doing it now. So we reckon there's probably a loose jumper in this tap. So the water hammer was happening when we opened the taps in here. But what was also happening, didn't film it, should have filmed it, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
We had a delayed start, so when you open the tap like that, it would come on and then it would come full bore, like that by itself. And there was a lot of banging. You could leave it running and it would be like bang, bang, while you saw it upstairs. So we thought it was the loose jumper on the tap up there, but it wasn't that. It was actually the pressure reducing valve. We just swapped it. So the one that we fitted under there at the back, that's what was causing it. So swap that and that's all right. You could hear like a whooshing sound going through it. It was like delayed start on the tap. So obviously Friday afternoon one, but sorted now.
So basically that massive pile of pipework was all connected to these tanks, which is grim. One there, one there. I've disconnected, cut it all out, and that's all we've got. So that now feeds the toilet downstairs, and then that's the cold mains that continues along to feed the rest of the building. It's now all off those tanks.
When they've built a cupboard around the boiler, this is the kind of cupboard you want. Want that, he says with one hand. I use two. The cupboard, that comes out the way. Although this boiler's been leaking and the cupboard's a bit wet, so it's been a bit tight. There we go. Cupboard that swings all the way out the way. It's got the receiver on the side, so we've got quite a lot of water on there. So I've just took the covers off. We've got 4 bar somehow. So I'm guessing they've tried to top it up. The filling leaf on these is underneath. One there, one there. I'm not able to get my, let me see if I can. Just pop one screw back in and then I can keep that one out of my way. Yeah, filling loop's open. So, I have to let some water out. We've obviously got our little white, can you see that? The white drain off there, so I'll let some water out of that to get the pressure down, and then we'll see where it's leaking from. So just put that just under 2 bar. Now I've got to see why, I think it's tripped the power, they said, and work out where it's been dripping or leaking from. So we've got some water there, and we've got some water in the divert valve, and the reason I know is because when I pulled the lead off, the lead's wet, which means the pin in here is leaking into that motor, and then that's what's tripping the power. So it's going to need a new cartridge and a new motor. So I think the problem was this was leaking, and then the tenants topped the pressure up but left the filling loop open, which then gone to 4 bar, and it's forced its way up and then gone all the way into the motor and flooded the motor. So it's going to need cartridge replacing, and this, which I've brought with me. So there's my new motor, replacement valve, cartridge, that's the clip for that. So you can see there where the water's been getting in, it's completely flooded, that's why it's tripping the power. So that is just going to hopefully turn out there. Grips on it. It's quite a common job this, you've probably seen it on my YouTube a few times. So that's the old one, there's the new one. There is 2 different cartridges for this boiler. One of them is shorter, so probably half the thickness of that as it sticks out the valve, so make sure you've got the right one. So right now back in, it's on an O-ring so you don't need to go crazy on it. Okay, so put the pressure back in and then we can fit this, hopefully with one hand. Come on. Okay, so that's on, and then I might just blast this out with a hairdryer because it's still a bit wet. Right, so I've dried that all out with the hairdryer, so this is now bone dry and also red hot. That's better than being wet. Plug that on there. He says, there we go. Okay, so filled up, that's on. So now I've got to put the cupboard back, pop the fuse back in, turn the power on, and we'll test it. Okay, see what happens. It's a good start. So I'm going to run the heat in, get some air out. There's a oil bottle on the pump and there's one on top of this boiler, and then we'll do some checks, combustion analysis, stuff like that. But yeah, it's not tripping the power anymore and it's not leaking anymore, so it should be good. So I've mentioned this before, I was 40 in March and I've been looking for new challenges. Like I've started swimming and I'm getting really competitive with my swimming. I've had a couple of coaching lessons now where you go to like it's like a pool, small pool inside someone's garage, like a double garage. It's got a motor in it and it blasts the water at you and you swim against it, and they film you from all different angles and then they critique your technique. So I've been there a couple of times now. I'm getting a lot more streamlined. I'm sort of like pulling myself through the water. Feels great, but it's a lot to sort of learn, and it changes like the way you learnt it when you were a kid, probably having swimming lessons at school or whatever. They just change everything. But I'm doing that. And then I started, well, I've been running for probably 4 years now. Always do a park run on a Saturday morning. Sometimes I'll throw in a 10k midweek. But I recently have done a few half marathons. So I did the Worcester half marathon. I got a time of 1 hour 57. And then last Saturday night, just last minute thing, saw it advertised online. It was called the Midnight Mountain Marathon. Started at 5:30, Brecon Beacons in Wales, and you had to do either a half or a full marathon, and the only rule is you have to finish by midnight. And me and Josh, JD Plumbing, did the half marathon, and Schweb, the gas expert, he came along as well. And it was literally up a mountain, so it was like inclines, but major inclines for most of it. And we managed to finish that in 2 hours and 16 minutes. So I've started to feel really good and confident about my running, and Schweb, the gas expert, he'd never done any running before, any training, and he did this half marathon in 3 hours and 20 minutes. And I was so impressed that he'd finished it with no training. He wasn't even wearing the right trainers and he'd not eaten properly, but he finished it, and it's inspired me to sign up to do a marathon. So my training starts tomorrow. I've got 16 weeks till the London Marathon. I'm going to be running that for Parkinson's UK. I'm also hopefully going to be doing the big London half marathon in September for Band of Builders, raising some money for them. And then off my own back, I've booked the Amsterdam Marathon in October, and then hopefully the Istanbul Marathon in Turkey in November. So I've got my work cut out, but I'm pretty dedicated, pretty good at taking instructions. So I've downloaded a training plan off the internet, and I'm literally going to stick to it. If it says I've got to run 6 miles today, I'm going to run 6 miles. So hopefully with the right training, my nutrition's on point, that will be fine, and I'll be able to do the London Marathon. I'm not going to aim for a time, just want to try and finish it because I've never done one before. And then once I've done that, the next marathon I do, maybe I can look at beating my previous time. But my main goal is just finishing it and the experience of doing a marathon. So that'll keep my mind occupied for the next few months. I think it's 3 months till the London one. And my main objective, apart from obviously doing the marathon, is not losing any weight, because I don't really want to lose any muscle mass, because I've worked hard to get where I am strength wise. So I'm going to try and do the training but eat even more food so I don't lose too much size and muscle. But we'll see. What I might do is a dedicated video for my marathon training, because I've never done one before, and I'll do it from start to actually running the marathon. All my nutrition, my workouts. I'm still going to swim, still going to go to the gym. And yeah, hopefully at the end of it, I'm just going to be like mega fit. But that's what I'm going to be doing for the next few months. I'll try and keep up a bit more regular with the YouTube videos. Like I said to you before, I had a little bit of a hard time, and I've not really been confident enough to get any videos out. So I need to sort of try and get back into the swing of things with YouTube. But who knows? Anyway, I'm in a better place. I've got the marathons to concentrate on. Feeling fit, feeling strong. So yeah. Thanks for watching the video, and hopefully I'll have one out for you next Sunday. Cheers, guys.